please.
Yes, absolutely. So, actually, it's funny because after following his videos for a year, um, one of the videos that stuck out to me first was the third eye video that went viral on YouTube, and that was one of the first videos that I watched. That one is the most memorable for me. That made me take a dive and to continue to watch his videos. Then it was another one, wealth manifestation video, that really was interesting because that was a issue that I had in my life, which was wealth manifestation. I had my own preconceived notions and cognitions about wealth that even hearing from an enlightened being such as Swamiji in Avatar, immediately that shifted because I'm like, wow, someone could be talking about wealth like this. So fast forward, my wife and I, we had a very traumatic experience in October of 2017. And, sometimes in the lowest moments or darkest moments, that's when, a true seeker,
Seeking.
take that push. Yeah. And in that case, for me, that state of powerlessness that I had, I wanted to immediately shift that powerlessness. And I knew that I had to go to India. I had to go to see Swamiji. So I did. I tried to manifest Mahasadashi I didn't fully cause myself. However, I was able to be in the breathing space in the Adinam during that for like about 2 weeks. And one of the Adinavasis was like, you should do Shiva Diksha. Just do Shiva Diksha, do Kalpaturu. You're here, do that at least. And during the time I was also back and forth volunteering. So I was like, you know what? This is my opportunity to meet Swamiji, so and to get an initiation. Really, all I wanted was a hug, even though I needed healing as well from that experience. But I was like, let me just go out there and get a hug. So to get Diksha was another level, and I knew that was Bhagwan saying, this is at least, you came here, this is what you can receive. So I did the Kalpaturu and the Shiva Diksha the same day. And one of the questions that I asked Ma was, I asked five things. Uh, Two, which were the most important to me, which was obviously enlightenment, and then to manifest power in my life, manifest Shaktis in my life so that I can, change my reality. The other three, one, starting with the one, which is healing from what I went through. Two, better relationships with, family, friends, and just the world as a whole. And then three, which is relevant to what I'm going to get into, is financial stability, because I never had financial stability in my life. So I didn't even think. What's crazy that I have a background in real estate because my father's a real estate investor and broker. But growing up, I never wanted to do real estate. But immediately after Diksha, a number of things happened for those devotees and disciples who received Diksha. A number of things happened. So a lot of mystical, spiritual, just intense energy happened. But minutes after that, I had this kind of like vision of like real estate would be in my future. And I'm like, self doubt, self denial, because my dad is a real estate investor. I just thought it was all in my head. But and mind you, I didn't want to do real estate, but somehow it was just I saw that in the future, and I was like, nah. But fast forward after I came back to California, I still didn't take a deep dive into it, immediately. But a year later, it's I just started to take massive action into real estate, and it just kind of came very very randomly. But I immediately thought about the Diksha. I thought about Swamiji, and I'm like, okay, you know what? If this is meant to be for my future, let's
Mhm.
go. I'm gonna go all in. So I started my real estate company, not knowing where I, exactly, if it was going to last another year or two, but I just had trust in Bhagwan, trust in Paramashiva, and that it would, I'll manifest exactly what I asked for, which was, financial stability and to start my own company by way of starting my own company. So it took 7 months for me to finally close on my real estate deal, a real estate deal after creating the company, and it was the most lump sum of money that I ever made,
Wow.
in my life at that time, at that point, which was almost six figures. So
Wow.
immediately I already knew it wasn't even without question. It was Swamiji. It was the boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was amazing. From where you were, before you went to India and wanting a financial stability, and the first real estate deal that you made was a six-figure deal. That is wonderful, Kobe. That's an amazing manifestation with the
Thank you.
blessings of Swamiji.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's really interesting, when you put your trust into the divine, and your trust into Swamiji, that
Mhm.
your life just changes, and I can't even say miraculously. It's just, it really is, as Swamiji teaches, it's a science. It's a high science. And you know, for me, I always believed, once I received that diksha, I believed that everything that I asked for from Swamiji, that it will manifest. The one that I had the doubt from, which was my own incompletions with wealth, was was the financial stability, and that one happened rather, to me it happened fast, because, like, as I told you, usually to make six figures it took me a year, but that one happened just through one deal. So it's just, everyone who, anyone who has wealth incompletions, ask Swamiji. It's really that simple. Just type or whatever. I know it's different now than it was then, but you can still find a way to ask the question through the Devi Darshan, ask Parashakti, go in there and type away, and you will absolutely get this, get your boon fulfilled, your wish fulfilled. The same way that I did, and just have trust, and know that it's possible.
Wow. Beautiful, Kobe. So beautifully shared. Is there anything else that you would like to share about your experience? And I know you were told about the three boons you asked Swamiji, and one was health. And what about the other two?
Oh, of course, healing was taken care of. Better relationships with family, friends. I mean, again, I just, Swamiji activating the Ananda Ganda. It's just that space of bliss constantly when people are around me. They want to tell me all of their, issues and their problems, as if I'm just a walking Atmalinga. And of course, you
So
know.
beautifully described as if I'm a walking Atmalinga.
So I definitely, have better relationships with the world, and I just constantly radiate the state, space, powers, beings, and super consciousness of Kailasa, as Swamiji has told and initiated, all of his disciples and devotees into that power. So I just, so much gratitude for making that happen. Of course, enlightenment hasn't happened yet, but I feel just, as long as I continue to follow all of Swamiji's teachings and continue to be in that space, in the breathing space of Swamiji. Eventually, before I leave the body, I know, just like many of us uh, desire, will receive that as well.
Absolutely, Kubi. And one of the things I can say from my experience of living around Supreme Court of Hinduism is, that we start living a conflict-free life. We start manifesting what we want. All these are different dimensions of enlightenment, which start happening in your life. Completion, having a deep feeling connection with the Guru, and being able to manifest what we want in life, living our life more and more in powerfulness. Right, the amount of time that we spend in powerlessness will be drastically less, and even if we are powerless, we spring back to the space of powerfulness much quicker than a normal people, or than other people who have not received the initiation. So all these are different flavors of enlightenment. And from my own experience, I can say only after a few years you look back and you see so much you have changed, so much the changes have happened in your life, and the way you respond to life, your cognition, perception, everything is so different. So the way we experience, and Swamiji makes us experience enlightenment, like he says it's ultimate but not final. So we keep manifesting different dimensions of enlightenment, and we keep growing into it. And only after, like, so living that conflict-free life and living a life where we know I can manifest what I want in my life with Swamiji's blessings are various dimensions of enlightenment. I can say, talking to you and just listening to you, and the space of bhakti that you are radiating with the supreme founder of Hinduism, you are definitely living and radiating so many dimensions of living enlightenment, Jivan Mukti. I can say that for sure.
Thank you, Ma. That's wonderful words, and I appreciate that. And everything you're saying resonates absolutely with me, and it's extremely true. One thing that I will share before we depart is that, to speak to that, I did 108 days of Nirahara Samyama, which obviously is the longest time I went without food, listening to Bhagwan's words of just stop eating. If you want change in life, just stop eating. So for me, I did a fast before that, but it wasn't that long. So to do that fast of 108 days, this breathing, just the state and the space that I was in, life just became, like you said, conflict free. It was just like bliss, just living and radiating bliss, throughout the entire day. Even doing the work that I'm doing in real estate, going on meetings, I was able to go on meetings and go see houses, and without feeling like I was powerless or feeling weak. I just had this intense energy, and I know that it's because of being a disciple of Swamiji. I know that it's because of having trust in Swamiji, just being with me every step of the way, because I took that sankalpa to say, I'm going to do 108 days. I don't care. I'm doing it. He said, stop eating. So I'm stop eating. Simple like that. Once I made that sankalpa, that declaration, then, I knew I was guided and I was protected by Paramashiva Swamiji, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan, Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. And it's really that simple. So for anyone who's listening, just get out of the self-doubt, self-denial. Don't wait too long like I did. Just take a deep dive in. Just jump right in.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kobe, for coming and sharing your beautiful and a wonderful experience in Nithyananda TV. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nithyananda.
Nithyananda. Yes. We had Kobe, who shared about how he manifested so many dimensions and manifesting so many dimensions of living enlightenment in his life. And next, we have Ma Atma Prema from Norway, who had a very interesting Devi Parashakti Akashic reading. And she is here to share her experience. She has been with us before, and she's coming back, joining us back again today to share her experience of Devi Parashakti Akashic reading. Nithyananda Ma Atma Prema.
Nithyananda Ma.
Nithyananda Ma, welcome back to Nithyananda TV. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me again. This will be the third time that I'm sharing since the Devi Parashakti Darshan on the 1st of this month, so 9 days ago.
Beautiful. And maybe to our viewers, you can give a brief of what Devi Parashakti revealed to you, what was her blessing to you, and then we can move into your share.
If I can read it, Ma, it will be easier
please
for me to. Okay. Okay. So on the 1st of June, Devi Parashakti answered my question after many, many weeks. I had never had an answer before, despite having asked the questions. So when this happened, it was a very intense, moving moment for me. And this was the answer that Devi had given. Listen well to what is being told, daughter. You are one of the beings who came down from Kailasa to be a co-captain and serve the world to protect it from the terrible corona. You forgot the purpose of coming and diverted into another life. Such beings as you, who came from Kailasa, are also the reasons for this terrible pralaya. Forgetting the divine seva you need to do and leaving the work you are meant to do, you are doing some other work. Like you and other such beings who came from Kailasa have become